It's day 18 of the 31-day Safer Pilot Challenge, and today it's all about IFR flying around weather.
Power back, 10 degrees of flat, perfect. Landing still starts the perfect pattern.
What is happening, MzeroA Nation? Who is 18 for 18 in this year's 31-day Safer Pilot Challenge? Check in the comments down below. Thank you to everybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel as well. Hey, don't forget, day 31, by the way. Day 31 won't be a typical video. It'll be a live stream. It'll be in the evening, I believe at 8 p.m. Eastern time on the 31st of January. So that will be day 31. We're going to end all together in a big live stream. So really looking forward to that. I want to take a moment to chat with you about IFR flying around weather. And there's really two thoughts I want to focus on here today. One is a common misconception. Really, both are misconceptions in a way. Let me share them with you. The first is, and maybe you know someone like this, maybe you believe this, but many people believe, I've got my instrument rating, so I can go. Right? We associate that, well, I no longer have to say it's a no-go because of weather, because I'm an instrument-rated pilot. And nothing could be further from the truth. There have been many, many times, this year already, I've made a no-go decision because of a front moving on through. Many of you have experienced, if you're watching this as this is happening, that front that went through last week for all that snow through the Midwest, yeah, it was that guy coming across. And I've already made no-go decisions. Just because you have your instrument rating does not mean you go blazing approaches down to minimums, that you go flying into any and all types of weather. Your instrument rating is simply just a tool. And if I can be really, really honest with you, on a day I'm flying with the family or with the kids, I don't shoot approaches down to minimums anymore. If I do, it's for a video for you all with another instructor with me or something along those lines. But honestly, if I'm flying with the family, in a perfect world, I'd love to break out at the final approach fix. Like that would be my preferred IFR flying. It doesn't always work out that way, but that's preferred. I'm not afraid of IFR flying. I would just like to break out somewhere around the final approach fix so I have plenty of time to make a VFR landing and my family feels comfortable with everything as well. So another common misconception with this is, and I'll come back to the previous topic too, I've heard and I've seen a lot of chatter on social media, people posting, hey, this is what the weather's like, what do you think, should I go? And I like that, I like crowdsourcing that, but I've seen this phrase a lot. Well, it's only green on the radar, so go. And here's the problem with that statement. How does our weather radar actually work? Well, all we're showing, when we show green on the radar, you're showing precipitation. And I guarantee if you've done any amount of flying, you've been flying before where it truly is green on the radar and you go, it's not even raining. Well, there's moisture in the air, it's just up above you or below you, it just really depends, and life is all good. And you get away with it once, and then again, but the third time, that green is real precipitation, and that green becomes yellow, it becomes red in its intensity markers on that radar, and you may not get away with it a third time.
And this is if I'm picking around weather, this is me. Now don't say Jason, this is fine for Jason, so it's fine for everybody. It's not true. If I have to pick around weather, I like to see it like this. If I was in solid IMC right now, that'd have been like a 350 heading way out and around this. But because I can see everything and kind of work and pick my way around this, I'm going to have a good idea what we're looking at once I get out of this little shelf here.
November 6 Delta Bravo, contact Tampa approach 119.65.
Could a deviation to the right, of course, work better? Maybe, right? In my head, it makes sense. Let's go around the back side of it. If it's moving, I got a 30 knot crosswind up here. This thing's moving 32 knots across. I don't, 10 degrees, right? You're working against something that's been blown towards you. I'd rather go, if I take this 320, and some of you might say, well, 320, is that enough? Well, if that's moving 32 knots, I take a 320, which gives me a little bit of margin. Plus, that's dissipating out. Backside just makes the most sense, honestly.
we have to respect all types of weather. You have to remove this idea of, well, it's only green on the radar. I go through green. I don't go through yellow, but I go through green. Are you going to let some engineer at Garmin or Avidyne or whomever that made these intensities on this weather radar determine what you fly through and what you don't fly through? You see, it is simply just a tool to say, okay, this is what the weather looks like. This is what my eyes are seeing outside. This is what this ADS-B weather source says. This is what my XM weather source says, whatever that may be. And we have to kind of crowdsource multiple sources of weather to make that informed, smart decision. You see, as an instrument pilot, it's not a ticket to just always go flying. In fact, many of you, you can earn your instrument rating having never stuck your head in the clouds, meaning you could pass your instrument check ride with no actual instrument time. It's crazy to think about. But some of us fly in some good weather states like Florida or like maybe in Arizona or something like that, where it's hard to get some actual instrument flying depending on the season. Yet you do it all under the hood or under the foggles, and then you think, I'm going to go stick my head in the clouds. And how different are those two things, aren't they? Simulated instrument versus actual instrument. These are the skills I want you working on. So whether you're an instrument pilot, the purpose of this video is to really kind of rethink your decision-making process. And maybe you're VFR only aspiring instrument pilot. Again, thinking forward, thinking through your personal minimums as well. That's really the focus of all of this, is to make safer, smarter decisions. You see, we can give you the stick and rudder skills to make you the next Rickenbacker or Earhart or Jaeger. You fill in the blank with your aviation mentor there. But all that's in vain if we can't help you make good decisions in what you're doing. Listen, thank you so much for playing full out in this 31-day Safer Pilot Challenge. I hope you are loving it. I want to hear your opinion though. What are some stories? What are some decisions you've made? What are some no-go things that you stand for? Let me know in the comments down below. I want to learn from you all just as this community continues to learn as well. Have a blessed, abundant, outstanding rest of your day. And most importantly, remember, a good pilot is always learning. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you. Pass your FAA written test and pass your FAA check ride, or I'll pay for it. I want you to see why more than 130,000 people trust MzeroA for passing their exams and, most importantly, making them safer, smarter, real-world pilots. You can get started today by going to MzeroAtrial.com.